So again, the purpose of this is to use or show who we are not with regards to security and law and Katherine Moennig by kind of going backwards and sharing my homosexual past and the perspective that the hetero that Katherine Moennig is will be accepted. So essentially to have the homo aspect discontinued and reality be welcomed and accepted with regards to her sexuality and not only that but the type of lesbian that Katherine Moennig is. So to kind of get us back in the vibe, here's KOTHBIRO again. Let's see. Well, so again, it's called Wet, and it's an adaptation from Eve Ensler's Vagina Monologues. So of course we're just gonna kind of start off. So it's adapted from Vagina Monologues. However, it's entitled Wet. So it has that focus with regards to Wet. So the title is appropriate to the behavior that we are seeking. I tried to explain that his kiss had caught me off guard. I wasn't normally like this. I tried to wipe up the flood with my dress. It was a new yellow primrose dress, and it looked ugly with the flood on it. Andy drove me home. He never said another word to me. And when I got out of his car, I told you, I closed it, locked the store, never opened for business again. I used to have these dreams, though. I mean, they're crazy dreams, dopey dreams. Why? Burt Reynolds? I don't know why. The guy never did a thing for me in life, but always in my dreams, it was Burt and I. Burt and I. Burt and I. We'd be out for dinner. One of those restaurants, the kind you see in Atlantic City. Huge chandeliers, thousands of the waiters with the vests on. Burt would be there. He'd give me an orchid corsage. I'd pin it to my blazer. We'd laugh. We were always laughing, Burt and I. Laughing. Ate shrimp cocktail. Fabulous shrimp. Huge shrimp. Then Burt would lean towards me, and just as he was about to kiss me, the entire restaurant would start to shake. Pigeons would fly out from underneath the table. I don't know what the pigeons were doing there. And the flood would come. Straight from down there. It would pour out of me. It would pour and pour. There'd be little boats inside it and little fish, and the entire restaurant would fill up with my flood. And there would be Burt, standing waist deep in it, looking horrified, horribly disappointed I'd done it again, as he watched his friends, Dean Martin and the likes, swim past us in their tuxedos and evening gowns. I don't have those dreams anymore. No. Not since they took just about everything connected with down there. Moved out the tubes, the uterus, the whole works. My doctor thinks he's a real comedian. He tells me, you don't use it, you lose it. But really, it was cancer. The whole thing had to go. Highly overrated anyway. Right? I do other things. Love the dog shows. I sell antiques. Excuse me? Come again. What would it wear? What kind of question is that? What would it wear? It would wear a sign. Closed. Due to flooding. What would it say? I told you it's not a thing that speaks. It's a place. A place you don't go. Closed up under the house. Down there. You happy now? You happy? You got an old lady to talk about this stuff. You feel better? Actually, I'll tell you the truth. Oh, you are the very first person I ever talked to about any of this stuff. I feel a little better. Did you ever look at your vagina or... No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So, you've never seen your vagina? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I've had children. Really? Yeah. What do you imagine it looks like? Well, I guess I've seen it in the doctor's office. When I'm in the stirrups, if there's a mirror. I mean, I'm sure I must have seen it passing over the years. Well, I happened to look down, and there was this very ugly thing staring back at me, and oh my God. And do you have good sex today? Yes. You said good? You didn't ask how often. Is there something specific it's longed for? Well, right about now, probably sex. Because it's been a long time. It's probably down there just wishing, just wishing, just wishing. Why don't you get some sense, woman, and give me some help down here? It still aches a little bit because I still like to play house. I'm old. Not dead. No, I'm not holding this. It's amazing how many people complain that there are not enough monologues about heterosexual, vagina loving men. We have 10 minutes. There is a vagina loving man. Come in. Steve, this is the guy right here. Right here. Tell me, what you learned about vaginas in the last few days? I probably learned more in the last 3 days than in my entire 24 years. Really? Oh, yeah. Specific? Basically, I thought I knew something and I knew nothing. That's what it comes down to. This next monologue is based on an interview I did with a woman who had a good experience with a man. Because he liked to look at it. This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know how it should have happened. In a bath. With salt grains from the Dead Sea. And you're playing me loving my woman's self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies, unite! I know all of it. Like, if we'd grown up in a culture where we were taught fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be pounding down milkshakes and donuts, spending our days lying on our backs, thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture, did we? No. I hated my thighs. And I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who had looked at it. And from that moment on, I wish I hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there in order to survive. I began to pretend there was something else between my legs. I imagined furniture. Cozy futons with light cotton comforters, little velvet settees or pretty things, silk handkerchiefs, quilted pot holders. I got so accustomed to this, I lost all memory of having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I pictured him inside a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. Then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. Thin, tall, nondescript. He wore khaki tan clothes. Bob did not like spicy foods or listen to Prodigy. He had no interest in sexy, lingerie. In the summer, He spent time in the shade. He did not share his inner feelings. He didn't have any problems or issues. He wasn't even an alcoholic. He wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change that I dropped on the deli floor. When he handed me back my pennies and quarters and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. That's when the miracle occurred. It turned out that Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they tasted, the way they smelled, the way they felt, but most importantly, Bob loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. First time we had sex. First time we had sex. He told me he had to see me. I'm right here, Bob. No, he said, you. I need to see you. Turn on the lights, I said. Thinking he was a weirdo and freaking out in the dark, he turned on the light. Okay, he said, I'm ready. I'm ready to see you. I'm right here, Bob, right here. He began to undress me. What are you doing? Bob, I need to see what you look like. But you've seen a red leather couch before. Bob, I know you've seen that. Bob continued. He would not stop. I wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, Bob. Can't you just do it? No, he said. It's who you are. I need to look. I held my breath. He looked and looked. He gasped and smiled and stared and groaned, and he got breathy. And his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. You're so beautiful, he said. You're elegant and deep and innocent and wild. You saw that? There? I said. It was like he read my palm. I saw that, he said, and much, much more. Bob stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes, but it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me. He was so excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. No, he wasn't grossed out. I began to swell. I began to feel proud. I began to love my vagina. And Bob lost himself there. And I was there with him in my vagina. And we're gone. We're gonna get little buttons made that say, I'm your Bob. He's a Bob, I can tell. It's part of that whole university training, you know? Oh my God. It's all about posture and hair. Haven't thought about my hair that much in my entire life. I asked all the women I interviewed the same questions, and then I picked my favorite answers. Although I have to tell you, I have never heard an answer I didn't love. The first question I asked women was, if your vagina got dressed, what would it wear? What would your vagina wear if it got dressed? Oh, I knew that question was going to come. And I said everybody would probably say that I would have on a Ralph Lauren skirt or Calvin Klein dress or something like that. I would probably put a hat on it. Lots of glitter, red silk, jeans. Probably a red bow, hiking boots, and a lot of sunblock. Something from the 40s. I like leather. It's sexy. It will be bald. And it'll have an earring. Actually, my vagina's a nudist. Doesn't wear anything anymore. Some Timbs, some baggy jeans, probably a hoodie. Like a little fashion dress. Spotted leather pants and a black knit shirt. Ooh, daddy. Ooh, daddy. Daddy? Daddy would love that. I know it. He would love it. I've been traveling for several years all around the world, and I've been threatening to create a map of all the vagina-friendly cities. 5 years in the theater, not one map. 1 hour in HBO, presto, a vagina-friendly map. I bet you don't know about some of the really many surprising vagina-friendly cities. Oklahoma City loves vaginas. Who knew? Boise, Idaho, recent convert, they've come into vagina land. Congratulations, Idaho. There are on this map Virginia vagina holiday zones. New York City is vagina holiday zone. San Francisco has its own status. There is no other vagina world fair zone. It's the only one on the map. Just imagine the ride. There are some areas which clearly, as you look through the mid part of America, have not been liberated as of yet. But we have great faith they will be liberated any day now. Pittsburgh is a wild... Where is Pittsburgh? Wildly vagina-friendly city. I've been there 3 times, and they love vaginas in Pittsburgh. Who knew? After one of my first shows there, a woman came up to me and she said, I have to talk to you right away. She was very upset. I called her when I got back to New York. She told me that she liked the piece, but she felt I had missed the texture of the vagina. She needed to talk texture. For the next hour, she talked to me about the texture of the vagina, with such nuance and detail that, to be honest, I had to lay down at the end of the conversation. However, she also told me in the course of our conversation that I had said something negative about a particular word. A pejorative word. A word that's been used to declaim the vagina, and she needed to help me reconceive this word. So for the next hour, she talked to me about this word. And when she was done, I was a convert. I wrote this for her. I'll call it cont. I reclaimed it. Cont. I really like it. Cont. Cavern, cackle. Click. Clit. Cute. Come close. Close inside. Inside cut, then you. Then cool, then curvy, inviting shark skin. You. Uniform. Under. Up. urge, ooh, ooh, you, then in, then con, snug letters fitting perfectly together. In, nest, now, nexus, nice, always deft, always rounds and uppercase, con, a jagged wicket, electrical pulse, in, then soft, in, warm, in, con, then T, then T, then sharp, certain tangy tea, texture, take, tight, tent, tantalizing, teasing, tensing, taste, tendrils, time, tactile, tell me, cunt, say it, tell me, come on, cunt, woo, love that word, I can't say it enough, I can't stop saying it, feeling a little irritated in the airport, just say cunt, everything changes. What did you say? I said cunt, that's right, cunt, it feels good, try it, go ahead, cunt, 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 I'm a cunt. My mother's gonna see this. I can't. Cunt. This is better than therapy. Turns the day around, I promise you. We're moving along. I ask women, if your vagina could talk, what would it say? If your vagina could talk and it could say 2 words, what would it say? Slow down. The first 2 words that came to my head was, oh no. And I don't know if that answers your question or if that's what my vagina would say, like, oh no. Ice pack, feed me, say, use me, eat me comes to mind. Stop thinking so much and have a good time. Where's Tom? What do you want? Want some? Yes. Need some? More? Help me. Open for business. How are you doing? Slow down. It's cozy. Howdy, partner. What's up, honey? Go, girl. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Thank you. Accept gifts. I'm happy. That's it. That's what it would say. For 10 years, I had the privilege of working with women in New York who had no homes. In that time, I did all kinds of things. I hung out. I ran groups. I had meals. I went to the movies. I interviewed hundreds and hundreds of homeless women. And I have to tell you, in all those years and all those interviews, I only met one woman who was not sexually abused as a little girl or raped as a young woman. This particular woman I met 7 years ago in a shelter, and this is her story. Just the way she told it to me. I didn't add it or change anything. What's not in her story is that she met a woman in that shelter and they fell in love. And through that love, they both got out of the shelter system. I do this tonight for her because I loved her. Memory. December 1965. 5 years old. My mama tells me in a scary, loud, life-threatening voice to stop scratching my coochie snorcher. I become terrified. I have scratched it off down there and do not touch myself again, even in the bath. I am afraid of the water getting in and filling me up so I explode. I put band-aids over my coochie snorcher to cover the hole, but they fall off in the water. I imagine a stopper, a bathtub plug up there to prevent things from entering me. I sleep with 3 pairs of happy heart-shaped cotton underpants underneath my snap-up pajamas. I still wanted to touch myself, but I don't. Memory. 7 years old. Edgar Montaigne, who is 10, gets angry at me and punches me with all his might between my legs. It feels like he braced my entire self. I limp home. I can't pee. My mama says, "What's wrong with your coochie snorcher, girl?" And when I tell her what Edgar did to me, she says, "Never, never let anyone touch you down there again." I tried to explain, he didn't touch it, mama. He punched it. Memory. 9 years old. I play on the bed, bouncing and falling and impale my coochie snorch on the bedpost. I make high-pitched screaming noises that come straight from my coochie snorcher's mouth. I get taken to the hospital, and they sew it up down there from where it's been torn apart. Memory. 10 years old. I'm at my father's house, and he's having a party upstairs. Everyone's drinking. I'm playing alone in the basement, and I'm trying on my new cotton white bra and panties that my father's girlfriend gave me. Suddenly, my father's best friend, this big man, Alfred, comes up from behind and pulls my new underpants down and sticks his big, hard penis right into my coochie snorcher. I scream, I kick, I try to fight him off, but he already gets in. My daddy's there, and he has a gun. And there is a loud, horrible noise. And then there is blood all over Alfred and me. Lots of blood. I am sure my coochie snorcher is finally falling out. Alfred is paralyzed for life. And my mama doesn't let me see my father again for 7 years. Memory. 13 years old. My coochie snorcher is a very bad place. A place of pain, nastiness, punching, invasion, and blood. It's a site for mishaps. It's a bad luck zone. I imagine a freeway between my legs. And girl, I am traveling. I'm going far away from here. Memory. 16 years old. There is this gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous, 24-year-old woman in our neighborhood. And I do not know why, but I can't help but staring at her all the time. One day, she invites me into her car. She asks me if I like to kiss boys. And I say, no, I do not like to do that. Then she says she wants to show me something, and she leans over and she kisses me so softly on the lips with her lips. Then she puts her tongue in my mouth. Wow. She asks me if I want to come over to her house, and then she kisses me again and tells me to relax, to feel it, to let our tongues feel it. She asks my mama if I can spend the night, and my mama's delighted that such a beautiful, successful woman has taken an interest in me. I am scared, but really, I can't. Wait, her apartment is fantastic. She's got it really hooked up in the 70s, the bees, the fluffy the fluffy pillows, the mood lights. I decided right then I'm going to be a secretary. Just like her when I grew up. She makes a vodka for herself. And then she asks me what I'm drinking. I say the same as she's drinking. And she says she doesn't think my mama would like me drinking vodka. I said she probably wouldn't like me kissing girls either. And the pretty lady makes me a drink. Then she changes into this chocolate satin teddy. She is so beautiful. I mean, I always thought bull daggers were ugly. I say, you look great. She says, so do you. I say, no, I only have this white cotton bra and panties on. So she takes me into her closet and she changes me into another satin teddy. It is lavender, like the first soft days of spring. The alcohol is going to my head and I am loose. I am ready. I notice as she lays me down on her bed that there is a picture of a naked black woman with a huge afro. As she slowly and gently lays me down on her bed, and just our bodies rubbing, makes me come. Then she does everything to me and my coochie snorcher that I always thought was nasty before. And oh my God, I am so excited. She says, your vagina untouched by man smells so fresh, so nice. I wish I could keep it that way forever. I get crazy. I get crazy wild. And then the phone rings and it's my mama. She catches me at everything. I try to act normal when I get on the phone. What is wrong with you, girl? Have you been running? I say, no, mama. Exercising. Afterwards, the gorgeous lady teaches me everything about my coochie snorcher. She makes me play with myself in front of her. And she teaches me all the different ways to give myself pleasure. She is very thorough. In the morning, I am worried I've become a butch, because I'm so in love with her. She laughs, but I never see her again. You know, I realized later she was my surprising, unexpected, politically incorrect salvation. She transformed my sorry ass coochie snorcher and raised it up into a kind of heaven. In 1993, I saw this incredible picture on the cover of Newsday. It was a picture of 6 young Bosnian girls who had just returned from a rape camp in the former Yugoslavia. And the picture was really shocking because on one level they looked like 6 young beautiful girls in their late teens, early 20s, but from another direction it was really clear that something had just occurred to each of these girls. That had changed them forever. Inside the newspaper was another photograph, and there were 30 girls who had been returned from a rape camp, and they were all standing in a semicircle having their picture taken, yet not one of them could look at the camera. These pictures completely haunted me and were responsible for my going to the former Yugoslavia several months later during the war, where I spent months interviewing Bosnian women, refugees in camps and in centers. Their stories were they were horrible. And when I came back to the States, I felt insane. And I couldn't understand why we weren't doing anything about that, about the fact that between 20 and 70,000 women were being raped in the middle of Europe in 1993 as a systematic tactic of war. And a friend of mine finally said, "Why are you surprised? In this country in 1 year," and I do not exaggerate, it's a documented fact, in this country in 1 year, over 700,000 women are raped. And in theory, we're not at war. I wrote this for the brave, beautiful women of Bosnia and Kosovo. My vagina was green water, soft pink fields, cow mooing, sun resting, sweet boyfriend touching lightly with a soft piece of blonde straw. There is something between my legs. I do not know what it is. I do not know where it is. Not now. Not anymore. Not since. My vagina was chatty. Can't wait. So much saying words, talking. Can't quit trying. Can't quit saying yes. Yes. Not since I dreamed there's a dead animal sewn in down there with thick black fishing line. And the bad, dead animal smell cannot be removed. And its throat is slit. And it bleeds through all my summer dresses. My vagina is singing all girl songs, all goat bell ringing songs, all wild autumn field songs, vagina home songs. Not since the soldiers put a long thick rifle inside me. So cold, the steel rod canceling my heart. Don't know whether they're going to fire it or shove it through my spinning brain. 6 of them with black masks shoving bottles at me too. There were sticks and the end of a broom. My vagina swimming river water, clean spilling water over sun-baked stones, over stone clit stones over and over. Not since I heard the skin tear and made lemon screeching sounds. Not since a piece of my vagina came off in my hand. Now, one part of the lip, one side of the lip is completely gone. My vagina, a live, wet water village. My vagina was once my hometown. Not since they took turns. They took turns for 7 days, smelling like feces and smoked meat. They left their dirty sperm inside me. And I became a river of poison and pus, and all the crops died. And the fish, my vagina, a live, wet water village. They invaded it. They butchered it. I do not touch now. I do not visit. I live someplace else now. I don't know where that is. Has anyone ever hurt your vagina? The worst thing was definitely being raped. And when was that? When I was 14 years old. That was the first time a man ever did enter my body. That was when you were a virgin. So what happened? He had cut me with his fingernails, and then I walked around trying not to pee because it hurt. I experienced a date rape in college. This was a very close friend from high school, and he one time was staying over and woke me up in the middle of the night and ripped off my underwear. Stuffed underwear in my mouth. Pinned my knees down with his knees and raped me. I was walking home from my friend's house, and an older man came up behind me and put his hand over my mouth and shoved his other hand in my back and said, "Don't scream or I'll kill you." He beat me and he knifed me and he raped me. And he tried to kill me. It was such an emotional injury. That distorts your feelings about your womanhood, yourself, relationships. It took a long, long time to trust anyone, and to make really myself feel that it was not my fault. And thank God I didn't catch anything behind it. But I was hurt more than my vagina. Thank you. My vagina's angry. It is. It's pissed off. My vagina is furious. And it needs to talk. It needs to talk about all this shit. It needs to talk to you. I mean, what is the deal? An army of people out there thinking up ways to torture my poor ass. Gentle, loving vagina. Spending their days constructing psycho products and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy. Vagina motherfuckers. All this shit. They're constantly trying to shove up us, stuff us up, and make us go away. Well, my vagina is not going away. It's pissed off and it's staying right here. Is there anything your vagina has ever been angry at? Ever been angry at? Yes. Again, it all has to do with the invasiveness aspect. When it's not ready, when it hasn't been nurtured. Let's just begin with tampons. What the hell is that? A dry wad of fucking cotton stuffed up there? Why can't they find to subtly lubricate the tampon? As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. It closes up. It says, forget it. You have to work with the vagina, introduce it to things, prepare the way. That's what foreplay is all about. You've got to convince my vagina, seduce my vagina, engage my vagina's trust. You can't do that. Have the dry water fucking cotton. You probably don't remember, but they used to have elastic belts with little hooks, and they handed you a pad like that was like thick enough for Barbie to use as a raft. You know? It was like gigantic. I remember when I was, after I started my period, spending a summer trying to figure out how to put a tampon in. And I remember sort of squatting over a mirror for days and days and days trying to find a way in. Stop shoving things up me. Stop shoving and stop cleaning it up. My vagina doesn't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. Don't try to decorate. Don't believe him when he tells you it smells like, rose petals. When it's supposed to smell like pussy. That's what they're doing. You know? Trying to clean it up. Make it smell like a bathroom spray or a garden. All those douche sprays. Floral, berry, rain. I don't want my pussy to smell like rain. All cleaned up like washing a fish after you've cooked it. I want to taste the fish. That's why I ordered it. You heard the joke about good evening, ladies. No? Oh well. It's a joke that goes, a blind man passed the fish market, and he says, good evening, ladies. My fiance says it's like potpourri and roses. That's sick. That's like douching with like Fabric Fresh or Glid or whatever. The thing you get like all freaked out because there's all these warnings about the odor, and then the odor shows up and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And then you realize it's normal. Then there's those exams. Who thought of those exams? I know there has to be a better way. Why the scary paper dress that scratches your tits? Why the funky rubber gloves? Why the flashlight all up there like Nancy Drew working against gravity? Like why the Nazi steel stirrups? Why the mean cold duck lips they shoved inside you? What is that? My vagina is furious about these visits. It gets defended weeks in advance. It won't go out the house. Then you get there. Don't you love that? Relax your vagina. Relax. Come on. Scoot down. Scoot down. Relax your vagina. Why? My vagina's not stupid. You're about to shove mean cold duck lips up inside it. It's just horrible. First thing, the room is always very cold. You know, you're sitting there, spreading your legs. It's just horrible. What they call a speculum or whatever that thing is. I can't stand it. Even when that little brush thing for the pap smear goes in there, it makes me cringe. And they're like, oh, does this hurt when I squeeze here? Well, Yeah. You're squeezing my vagina. It's not a comfortable feeling. Why can't they find some nice, delicious purple velvet and wrap it around me? Lay me down in some feathery cotton spread. Put on some frilly pink or blue gloves. And rest my feet in some fur-covered stirrups. Warm up the duck lips. Work with my vagina. But no more tortures. Dry water, fucking cotton cold duck lips, thong underwear. That shit is the worst. It is the worst. It moves around all the time. It gets stuck in the back of your vagina. Real crusty butt. The vagina is supposed to be loose and wide, not held together. That's why girdles are so bad. We need to move and spread and talk. Vaginas need to talk. Why don't they make something comfortable? Something to give them pleasure? Of course. They won't do that. They hate to see a woman having pleasure. Particularly sexual pleasure. I say, make a nice pair of white cotton underpants with a French tickler built in. That's right. That's right. Women will be coming all day. Coming in the supermarkets, give me the juice. They won't be able to stand it. Seeing all these energized, not taking shit, hot, happy vaginas coming down the street. If my vagina could talk, it would talk about itself like me. It would talk about other fabulous vaginas. It would do vagina impressions. It would wear Harry Winston diamonds. No. Clothing. Just there, all draped in the diamonds. You know, my vagina helped release a giant baby. I thought it would be doing more of that. It's not. Now it wants to travel. It does not want a lot of company. It wants to read and know things and get out more. It wants sex. It loves sex. It wants to go deeper. It's hungry for death. It wants kindness. It wants change. It wants silence and freedom. And gentle kisses and warm liquids and deep touch. It wants chocolate. It wants to scream. It wants to stop being angry. It wants to come. It wants to want. It wants. My vagina. It wants. It wants everything. I interviewed a whole group of sex workers. And obviously women who do sex work have rich, compelling, complex relationships with their vaginas. This particular woman blew my mind. She was a sex worker, but she only did sex work with women. You know, when you go out with someone and you think they're in the same zone as you, and 5 minutes into the conversation, you're like, oh my God. That's what it was like with this woman. You know, you try to be hip, right. Meanwhile, your head's been blown off. You just hope your scarf will conceal it. I wrote this for her. I love vaginas. I love women. I do not see them as separate things. Women pay me to dominate them, to excite them, to make them come. I did not start out like this. No, to the contrary. I started out as a lawyer. But in my late 30s, I became obsessed with making women happy. It began as a mission of sorts, but then I got involved with it. I got very good at it, kind of brilliant. You could say I found my calling. I started getting paid for it. I wore outrageous outfits when I dominated women. Lace, silk, leather. I used props, whips, ropes, handcuffs, dildos. There was nothing like this in tax law. There was no props, no excitement. And I hated those blue corporate suits. Although I have to tell you, I wear them now in my new line of work, and they fit in nicely. Context is everything. There was no wetness. There was no dark, mysterious foreplay. No erect nipples. No delicious mouths, but mainly there was no moaning. Not the kind I'm talking about anyway. I see now that moaning was the key. It was the thing that ultimately seduced me and got me addicted to making women happy. I made love to quiet women, okay? I found a place inside them. They shocked themselves in their moaning. I made love to moaners, and they found a deeper, more penetrating moan. I became obsessed. I longed to be in charge, like a band leader or a conductor. It was kind of surgery, a kind of delicate science, finding the exact location or home of the moan. That's what I called it. Sometimes I found it over a woman's jeans. Sometimes I snuck up on it off the record, quietly disarming the surrounding alarms and moving in. Sometimes I use force, but not violent, oppressing force. No, more like dominating. I'm gonna take you someplace. Why don't you lay back, enjoy the ride kind of force? Sometimes it was simply mundane. I found the moan before things even started. While we were eating chicken or salad in the kitchen, right there, with my fingers all mixed in with the balsamic vinegar. Sometimes I used props. I love props. Sometimes I made the woman find her own moan in front of me. I waited. I stuck it out until she opened herself. I was not fooled by those minor, more obvious moans. No. I pushed her further, all the way into her power moan. Now, there's the clit moan. A. The vaginal moan. O. The combo clit vaginal moan. A-O. The almost moan. The on it moan. Oh, the elegant moan. The gray slick moan. The wasp moan. The semi-religious moan. Oi. The mountaintop moan. The baby moan. Ooh ah. The doggy moan. The southern moan. Yeah. The militant, uninhibited, bisexual moan. Ho. The machine gun moan. The tortured zen moan. I. The diva moan. Ah. And finally, the surprise triple orgasm moan. Oh God, that's really good. Don't stop. That's it. Oh, that's it. Oh my God. Oh, that's really good. Oh my God. Oh. Woof. Can you believe we're doing this on HBO? Orgasms on HBO? I'm so excited. I've been collecting vagina facts for quite some time now, and I have to tell you, I've been hard pressed to find a happy vagina fact. I found this one. Now I think I live to tell it. The clitoris is pure in purpose. It is the only organ in the male or female body designed solely for pleasure. The clitoris is simply a bundle of nerves, 8,000 nerve fibers to be precise. That is a higher concentration of nerve fibers that is found anywhere else in the body, including the fingertips, lips, and tongue. And it is twice the number in the penis. Do you want to go first? You go first. Let's see. You go first. You go first. Okay. First, I feel it in my head. Before I feel it anywhere else, I feel it like right here in my head. And then it like travels down. And it's the most incredible sensation. I scream and I yell and I say, you know. More, it's good. I have to squeeze all my muscles. Pretty much. It's like every single muscle in my body. Yeah. I started breathing heavier, and honestly, you feel like you're going to explode. It's like you kind of lose your mind for a little bit. You just kind of go crazy. It's sort of an eruptive state. It's a rising, ignited state. It can be kind of a boom, or it can be soft. It's just like, whew. Yes. Oh, I've been performing this piece for quite some time. And I didn't have one monologue in it about birth, which was a bizarre omission. Although I recently was interviewed by a male journalist, and he said, really, what's the connection? It was there, and the doctor was there, and the nurse, and my sister, and they were holding my legs and telling me to push when they said, oh, we can see the head. One big push, and you could push that baby out. And there's this sort of bone cracking, stretchy sound. I felt this very strange sensation, like something swimming through my body, and I realized, oh my God, he's coming out. He's coming out. So I just kept pushing harder, and then finally there he was, upside down, hanging by his legs, and he was okay. And so I can't wait till you experience it. I know you can't. I cannot wait. It's so wonderful. I can't wait. It's the best thing ever. Over the course of writing the monologues, my daughter-in-law got pregnant, and she and my son invited me to be there for the birth of my granddaughter. And I have to tell you, if I was in awe of vaginas before this moment, I'm in deep worship now. I wrote this for my daughter-in-law, Sheba, and my granddaughter, Coco. I was there when her vagina opened. We were all there. Her mother, her husband, and I, and the nurse from the Ukraine with her whole hand up there in her vagina, feeling and turning with her rubber glove as she talked casually to us. Like, She was turning on a loaded faucet. I was there in the room with the contractions. Made her crawl on all fours. Made unfamiliar moans leak out of her pores. And still there, after hours, when she just screamed, suddenly wild, her arms striking at the electric air. I was there. When her vagina changed from a shy sexual hole to an archaeological tunnel, a sacred vessel, a Venetian canal, a deep well with a tiny stuck child inside waiting to be rescued, I saw the colors of her vagina. They changed. Saw the bruised, broken blue, the blistering tomato red, the gray pink, the dark. Saw the blood-like perspiration along the edges. Saw the yellow, white liquid, the shit, the clots, pushing out all the holes, pushing harder and harder. Saw through the hole the baby's head. Scratches of black hair. Saw it just there, behind the bone, like a hard, round memory, as the nurse from Ukraine kept turning and turning her slippery hand. I was there when each of us, her mother and I, held a leg and spread her wide, pushing with all our strength against her, pushing as her husband sternly counting. 1, 2, 3, telling her, focus, focus harder. We looked into her then. We couldn't get our eyes out of that place. We forgot the vagina. All of us. What else would explain our lack of awe, our lack of reference? I was there when the doctor reached in with Alice in Wonderland spoons, and there as her vagina became a wide operatic mouth, singing with all its strength. First, the little head, then the gray flopping arm, then the fast swimming body, swimming quickly into our weeping arms. I was there. Later, when I just turned, and I faced her vagina. I stood and I let myself see her. All spread, completely exposed, mutilated, swollen, torn, bleeding all over the doctor's hands, who was calmly sewing her there. I stood, and as I stared, her vagina suddenly became a wide, red, pulsing heart. The heart is capable of sacrifice. So is the vagina. The heart is able to forgive and repair. It can change its shape to let us in. It can expand to let us out. So can the vagina. It can ache for us and stretch for us and die for us and bleed us into this difficult, wondrous world. So can the vagina. I was there in the room. I remember. Well, I didn't really want to show vaginas in this movie. I kind of resisted it, but HBO really wouldn't be an HBO movie without showing a vagina. So here we go. Here we go. Okay? We're done? This song found its way into a studio when I was in the company, African dance company. That's where this whole, not just the track, but the entire, comp project or whatever. So, what do you know? Who would have known it had relevance, right? But that's KOTHBIRO. And that was my wet. So, that was my little homo to have that homo-ness gone, bye-bye. So, essentially, if we ever meet, like that's like not who I am now. That's kind of that whole like purpose. So that's it. I have an appointment, so I have to go. I'm getting my hair done. So anyway, that was my wet.